Hello and welcome, my friends, to the Disney Stranger channel. I'm the Disney Stranger. My family and I make fun and exciting vlogs about Disneyland and the Walt Disney World Resort, with some fun and exciting family fun adventures sprinkled in. We also go on adventures back in time with our Disney Stranger Time Machine. Speaking of time, there have been some great rides and shows that have come and gone throughout the years, some even sadly missed. With all the new and exciting changes that are happening in the parks these days, my mind can't help but remember all the fun that we used to have at Walt Disney World watching shows that have vanished from the parks over the years. So today we've decided to fire up that old time machine and explore those Walt Disney World shows that no longer exist. Shows that remain dear in our memories. Shows that we have recently visited this past year and a half in our time machine vlogs. And now, let's go back in time and visit our Disney Stranger Top 5 Extinct Shows at Walt Disney World. Hey Disney, fire up that Disney Stranger Time Machine.
You got it!
Number 5. Journey into Jungle Book and Animal Kingdom. Journey into Jungle Book was a musical show based on the film The Jungle Book. The show was staged 10 times daily at Theater in the Wild at Animal Kingdom. The venue was a 1,500-seat amphitheater overlooking Discovery River near Dinoland, USA. This wonderful show was an opening day attraction that followed the story of man-child Mowgli. The music and characters from the film step right out of what appeared to be a giant, multi-plane picture book on stage. Retelling the story of the movie, the show employed a brand new breed of human animals, highly mobile costume characters combining human performances and innovative puppetry. The production value of the show is actually quite high. Overall, there was a lot to enjoy about Journey into Jungle Book. It did a great job of consolidating the story, while also adding a lot of fun through the songs. Sure, a lot was left out, but you can't expect differently when adapting a 75-minute film into a 25-minute show. But Disney Entertainment did do a great job creating an entertaining show that appealed to audiences of all ages. Sadly, only after 1 year of performances, Journey into Jungle Book closed April of 1999 to make way for a new show. Number 4. Tarzan Rocks was a musical show that took place in Theater of the Wild at Disney's Animal Kingdom from 1999 to 2006. Taking a high-energy approach, the show featured acrobats and skating stunts in addition to featuring characters Jane, Tarzan, and Turk. Those rollerblading skaters looked so cool. The show was a live rock musical review loosely following the film's story through its Phil Collins musical numbers. Referred to as the Two Worlds Tour, this unique show is a stylistic fusion of rock concert spectacle and a classic action-adventure story that creates a theatrical thrill ride. A quote from the show's director, Reed Jones. The performers filled the theater during one song set and are both among and above the audience. Unfortunately, much of the original Tarzan story had been lost, and it primarily followed Tarzan growing up and his relationship with Jane. The 4-act show featured 5 songs from the film soundtrack, including the hit single, You'll Be in My Heart. Turk performs Trashing the Camp, and the audience even gets a chance to practice their Tarzan yell. The last show was performed on January 21st, 2006. After the show ended its run, Theater in the Wild was enclosed, and Finding Nemo the Musical premiered on January 24th, 2007. During the run of Tarzan Rocks, there was a pin and medallion coin for sale in the park. Boy, I wish I picked one up. Number 3. The Enchanted Tiki Room under new management was an attraction located in the Magic Kingdom. It was an updated version of the opening day show, Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room, which was previously known in the Florida park as Tropical Serenade. That original show closed on September 1st, 1997. It reopened again on April 5th, 1998 as the Enchanted Tiki Room under new management, and featured the respective Walt Disney Animation franchises Aladdin and The Lion King, with Iago voiced by Gilbert Godfrey and Zazu voiced by Michael Goff. The almost 10-minute show started with these original characters leading the other birds in the famously familiar tune in the Tiki 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 Room. After just a few seconds of this familiar refrain, the birds' chorus is interrupted loudly by the loudmouth and boastful parrot, Iago. He then proclaims as the new owner of the Tiki Room, he's introducing a brand new production. His co-owner, the stiff upper-lip Zazu, warns Iago that he might irk the Tiki gods. But Iago forges ahead. The Tiki goddess of disaster, Aoa, erupts from the center of the room in a cloud of green mist, and she wreaks her revenge on Iago, hurling a lightning bolt his way, zapping him ominously.
When you mess with Polynesia, the Tiki gods will squeeze ya!
The Tiki gods perform a triumphant chant, and Iago reappears bandaged and on crutches. After declaring the Tiki gods the greatest act he has ever seen, he joins Zazu and the rest of the audio animatronic cast for a musical grand finale. The attraction ran for almost 13 years from April 1998 until January 2011, when a small fire broke out in the attic of the attraction. It was rumored that the Iago figure, which first interrupts the show, was severely damaged by the small blaze, but the cause of the fire and the extent of the damage was kept quiet under an investigation. Although some fans of the original version of the show found this version disrespectful to the original, some younger fans of the newer animated films found these new additions refreshing and funny to the somewhat boring snooze fest of the original show. The original attraction reopened on August 15, 2011 as Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room, an edited and trimmed down version of the original show, featuring all but one of the original songs from the original 1963 version of the show. Number 2. A Tie, Kitchen Cabaret, and Food Rocks. Yes, these are actually two different shows, but both of these shows are part of the Land Pavilion in the early days of Epcot, and could arguably be considered two of the fondest Walt Disney World Resort extinct cult classic shows. Kitchen Cabaret was an Epcot opening day 13-minute show starring lovable audio animatronic food. Music for Kitchen Cabaret was written by Disney legend Buddy Baker, the original music director for Epcot, and featured lyrics by Imagineer Scott Hennessy. Like the rest of this pavilion, this show was sponsored by Kraft Foods, and along with Disney, it used the review to emphasize healthy eating through humor and 1930s and 1940s musical numbers. And if you're a fan of dad jokes, this show had plenty.
Mr. Eggs, whatever happened to that tuna you used to work with?
Oh, sad story. She got caught being fresh and was canned.
Thank you, Mr. Eggs. The show featured the outdated concept of the 4 basic food groups, instead of the current nutrition theory of the My Plate Nutrition Guide. As the show began, we were first introduced to our host, Bonnie Appetit, an animatronic lady sitting on a stack of cookbooks. She sings the Mealtime Blues, and then the Kitchen Crackpot animatronics rise from the front of the stage. The band is made up of Kraft condiments and performs Chase Those Mealtime Blues Away with Bonnie. Other musical numbers in the show included The Stars of the Milky Way, The Boogie Woogie Bakery Boy, and Meat Ditties. To round out the show before its closing number, Cabaret Finale, the incredible earworm of a Latin-style tune, Veggie Veggie Fruit Fruit, was sung by Bonnie in a Carmen Miranda outfit atop a crescent moon. Who could forget the broccoli flipping up its sunglasses saying cha-cha-cha in the colander combo? The Kitchen Cabaret closed January 3rd, 1994. In November of 1992, the Nestle Company announced taking over sponsorship of the Land Pavilion, which included the rides and the shows inside. Also in 1992, the USDA decided to move away from the dated 4 basic food groups to the food pyramid, suggesting relative quantities for each food category. Opening on March 26, 1994, the show was themed as a benefit concert for good nutrition, hosted by food rapper who was voiced by the real-life rapper Tone Loc.
You know, your fool knows a thing or two about eating right.
The show was constantly interrupted by the excess.
With a great big bowl of fattening, steaming junk!
A junk food heavy metal band that detests nutrition. In the end, the excess lost their power as Food Rapper reminds everyone that there's always great food to eat. But remember, to eat with moderation. The songs in the show were parodies of well-known pop songs from the 1950s to the 1980s, with the lyrics adapted to the theme of nutrition. For example, the Beach Boys sang Good Nutrition instead of Good Vibrations. The audio animatronic characters were food items with human features, but had limited motion. It was quite obvious after viewing the show that the bulk of the budget went into song parody and less into the physical show itself. The exaggerated lighting effects and high volume tried to hide the lack of animation. Some of the other songs in the show were We'll Make It Count in the Kitchen, based on Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen, Aretha Franklin's Just a Little Bit by Get the Point Sisters, and High Fiber by Peta Gabriel. The lead singer animatronic for The Refrigerator Police, a parody of The Police, was a repurposed version of Mr. Dairygood's animatronic from The Kitchen Cabaret. 5 of these acts actually used the voices from the parodied musicians themselves. Tone Loc, Neil Sedaka, Little Richard, The Pointer Sisters, Chubby Checker, they all lent their voices to these parodied songs. In January 3rd of 2004, after nearly 10 years, Food Rocks closed its doors as the last attraction to use the theater space. The attraction was shut down, but the stage was left abandoned and hidden behind a wall. Soren only took the place of the Food Rocks queue, so the rumor is that the stage of the show still stands to this day, virtually untouched from the day it closed. There's no official confirmation, but I'd like to think that the show actually exists in a secret room at the Land Pavilion.
Waiting in the kitchen for you.
Number 1. The original Polynesian Review, known by a variety of names throughout the years, has been a very popular experience at the resort through its 50-year history. Originally, the luau took place on the resort's beach, as many authentic luau's do in the Pacific Islands. However, in 1973, Disney added a covered area to the resort to make the show possible during inclement weather. Way back at the very beginning of the Polynesian resort, a famous hula dancer named Auntie Cowie was hired by the company as the cultural ambassador at Disney's Polynesian Village. With Auntie Cowie's help, the Cowie Pono Polynesian Review at Walt Disney World, as it was called in the 1970s, quickly became one of the most authentic luau experiences outside the Hawaiian Islands. Her Polynesian Review defined the resort for decades. Her work on the show brought a variety of traditional elements, including handmade costumes designed by the performers who had a deep passion and understanding for Polynesian culture, as well as the stories and traditions that would be told during each performance. Early versions of the show featured traditional hula and fire dancing, along with puppets and storytelling straight from traditions found in Hawaii and Polynesia. During the show, guests dine on all-you-can-eat meals, including a variety of tropical menus throughout the years, like coconut sticky rice, glazed pork ribs, roasted vegetables, and of course, an array of specialty cocktails. Unfortunately, the original version of the show went through several changes in 2003, as well as an extensive modification to Luau Cove. In the new show, the guests are not tourists. They are villagers gathered together to celebrate the return of Leilani, a local girl who has left the islands to attend school. Throughout the luau, we meet all of her friends that she grew up with. The new script is filled with comedy, dancing, familiar Hawaiian songs, and some music from Lilo and Stitch. Auntie Cowie continued to share the traditions of Hawaiian culture at the resort until her passing in 2020. She is deeply missed and remembered today by so many guests and cast members from around the world. If you remember any special experiences with Auntie Cowie, we'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Recently, there have been some stories about the bulldozing of Luau Cove. The Walt Disney Company is considering building more DVC units in its place. To me, this sounds like a horrible idea. There are so many rich traditions and fond memories that are attached to this unique Disney experience. For the company to abandon this cultural entertainment venue will be a complete and utter mistake. Well, friends, there you have it. The top 5 Disney Stranger Time Machine extinct shows at Walt Disney World. We really appreciate you guys stopping by. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure that you are subscribed and make sure that notification bell is set to all. Surprisingly, YouTube has been unsubscribing and turning off notification bells on some accounts. Please make sure that you're a part of the Disney Stranger Channel family.
We'll be part of you.
And remember, guys, don't forget to walk forward.
Thanks for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please click the like button below. Your comments are welcome. Don't forget to click like and subscribe to the Disney Stranger channel. And walk forward.